Every 2 years we need to practice the LNG plant major incident or incident, and today we're planning or we're practicing a scenario where one of the tanks has had a leak. Unfortunately, the leak has gone into the security basin or the safety basin. The gas has gone in there. There's been some contractors inside the plant, and there's been some sort of heat source where flash fires happened, a minor explosion, and we've had a number of casualties. We've had one casualty that's been unconscious, and two walking wounded with severe burns. I'm reminded by the LNG plant that this is nearly impossible, one chance in a million, but obviously for the purpose of the exercise and to test our emergency services and reactions, we've created the worst case scenario, and that's what we're going for today.
What would be the ideal outcome of an exercise like this? What is it that you wanted to see happening today?
Okay, we're testing a number of things. First of all is the reaction from the emergency services, how they react to this incident, how they command and control, how they co-locate, how they communicate, and all the JESIP principles, the joint operating services interoperability procedures. And we're also practicing in the health authorities. St. Bernard's has gone into MAJAC's role, which they will then set up the command room, because when we come to burns, we need to transfer the casualties out because we haven't got the capability in St. Bernard's to treat serious burns. So they will have to practice that and the cancellations of minor operations, etc., because of the major incident. We're also operating a tactical coordinating group at the bunker, where heads of department and of the emergency services and other government agencies, together with the Director of Public Health, etc., are looking at the bigger picture, how it affects the rest of the community, the airport, power, how long we're going to lose power, how much fuel have we got left to keep the power plant going without the LNG, because obviously the LNG is now temporarily out of order. So it's a sort of like 3 or 4 phase exercise. I would say all the emergency services in Gibraltar are involved in this exercise, because obviously the Gibraltar Fire and Rescue, there's a fire involved, there needs to be a rescue. The casualties need to be picked up and treated by the ambulance service. St. Bernard's is involved, and the accident and emergency. We have the LNG plant, which obviously is affected. The GEA, the Gibraltar Electrical Authority, they've got the plant right next to, and they're supplied fuel by the LNG, so they are severely affected. Police, obviously, they would have to carry out traffic management and assist all the other services in doing the rescue and so on, and possibly be involved in investigations of what's happened, especially if there's serious injuries or fatalities. Air traffic control would be involved, and the airport terminal, because we might have to divert flights, and they would be affected. The Port Authority has a big role, because they would have to evacuate the area of the North Mole, which what we call the danger zone, which I would like to add goes up to the end of the port area, not beyond that, where the residential area begins, because that is outside of the zone if in case there was a fire or an incident here.
Should the general public be reassured by this type of exercise?
Like I said earlier, the operators, which are GASNO, when we were planning the exercise, they weren't happy with the scenarios, because they used to say it was unrealistic. There's loads of safety measures before that. If there was a gas leak, the whole plant would shut down before, contractors would not be allowed in, heat sources would not be available. But for the case of this exercise, so we test all the emergency services, we had to make it, like I said earlier, the worst case scenario, where we had a leak, we had a heat source, and on top of that we had operators just next to where the gas was, and the explosion happened, and that's what happened. But we're guaranteed it's a very, very safe operation.